Good morning. I know what you're saying. You are late, and I get it. I get it. It is a lack of professionalism. It is. I needed a day off. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And plus, the show comes on at 7:15 ish. It's a ish. It's the ish that makes me never late. Because it's just the ish. And I know sometimes y'all get tired of my ish. I get it. I know y'all are tired of my ish. But guess what? We're here. Welcome to another edition of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy, aka Sleepy McSleepy Pants. Well, actually, I don't have on any pants. So just Sleepy McSleepy. And I am here, man. Today is another episode of See You in the Morning. If you're wondering what See You in the Morning is my horrible idea to get up every morning and give y'all a piece of me. Just talk about what's going on my mind, what is happening in my world. I do that. If this is your first time hearing this, you are about to experience something so cold. If you are a returning guest, then guess what? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I definitely appreciate that. So we're going to have a fantastic Monday. We're going to start it off. Here's the thing. I've always felt like we got to start off by mastering Monday. We got to master our Monday. We got to master our Monday. There's a lot of things that you should be able to master in life. Monday is one of them. If you're a fisherman, you should be able to master baiting, because that's what you have to do in order to get the fish. You got to bait the hook. So you got to be a master at that. If you're fishing, that's one of the things you have to master. You can be a master chef. There's lots of things you master. There's a lot of things you can master. So baiting is one of those things that you need to learn. Well, we'll talk about it later. First thing I do on this show is I speak to everybody. I speak to everybody. I tried to get in here and speak to everybody. So let me get up in here and speak to people this morning. Of course, the first three people that speak to me, they get an award. If I ain't sleep with you, I speak with you. So let's go ahead and say hello to some folk. Good morning. And winning the bronze today is Crystal Sex Appeal. Good morning. Hands on the hips. That means something. Black woman with her hands on the hips. Either you're about to be told off or she's just feeling spunky. She's just feeling spunky like Brewster. And I know it's Punky Brewster, but we're moving on. Getting the silver medal today is Franita. And I don't know if you have to say it differently because she has a capital N. So I don't know if it's like Frani, because of the two capital letters. Franita Rollins dealt. Fantastic. And winning the gold this morning is the Pride of North Carolina, Courtney Weston Murphy, the Pride of North Carolina. Good morning to you. Also here this morning is T. Mitchell. Good morning. Michelle McKinney. Good morning to you. Tony Fogle. Good morning. Jackie. My cousin Tim. I seen my cousin Tim this weekend. We're going to speak about some stuff with Tim in just a minute. Good morning, my friend Leisha. My friend Leisha, who right now is in the middle of healing. She's already healed. She's just doing it at her own pace. She's dealing with this cancer situation, and she's beating cancer. So I love it. Love that about her. Love how she's just out there. There's a lot of things you can beat. We already talked about so many things that you can master. There's also a lot of things that you can beat. Sometimes some of the things you beat is the same as what you master. But she's out there beating up on cancer. She's going fantastic with it. And I love her for her. Very close friend of mine. Love her and all that she's doing. She's amazing down there in the nation's capital of Jacksonville. Also here this morning, Wilberta, PP, Patricia Pippen in the building. Princess Wilkins, Tab is in the building. Tamar Braxton, also Tamar Cooper, different person. JP, what up, though? And Shannon all in the building. Good morning. Yeah, Lisa deserves one of these. Lisa, because that's what she's been doing. She's got the cancer, and I know she told me the stages, and I don't want to put all her business out there. I think that might be a HIPAA violation, and I know she's trying to get extra money right now. So if I tell too much, she'll probably sue me. But you can't get blood from a turnip. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. You can't get blood from a turnip. So I got to give a big shout out to Timothy Cummins. Timothy is what some people call him. My whole cousin, my birth cousin, his father and my mother brother and sister. Then the two oldest. My mama's the oldest, and then comes his daddy. He came out. I had shows this weekend in Washington, D.C. I had 6 shows. I ended up doing 4. Y'all don't try to do the math. I had 6 shows. I ended up doing 4. It was a good time. It was, it was a good time. I had 6 shows. I ended up doing 4. Not my fault though. Completely the fault of Washington D.C. Completely and utterly Washington D.C.'s fault that I wasn't able to do all of my shows. I didn't plan it that way, but Washington D.C. was like, we ain't finna have it, and so I'll explain it to y'all in just a second. But I'm big shout outs. As most of y'all know, I don't really deal with my family a whole lot. So my family member came out. That was fantastic, a fantastic time. He's a notorious say that I'm coming guy. There he is right there. That's my cousin Timothy and me. That proves we were in the same room at the same time. A lot of people, had a hard time believing that we were in the same place at the same time. It actually happened. And there he is actually with his wonderful wife. There she is. Now in the back is another one of my cousins, and he looks like a ghost because he wasn't supposed to be in the picture. But I don't know how I can erase him, but that's his lovely wife. Now, this guy right here is the master of blaming his wife and kids for not going somewhere. It is now one of the main reasons why I want to get married. Now I realize what the key is to being married. Why being married is important. I didn't know it before. I didn't realize before the importance of being married. If you are married, you automatically have an excuse to not go places. Had no idea the beauty of it. That is such a beautiful thing. I have asked him, I've been in DC multiple times and done shows, many shows in DC, and he's never come to any of them. Never been to a single show. And he always tells me he's coming. And then it'll come time for the show and he doesn't show up. And it'll be great because he'll be like, man, the wife had to work, man. I tried to, you know how it is when you married. The wife, he's been able to blame his wife for lots of stuff. Now, he doesn't always blame his wife. Sometimes he blames the kids. Man, he is great with it. The reason why you have a wife and children is so that you can get stuff done and you can get out of going places. I can't wait now. Before I was anti-marriage for me. But now I realize that if I find a wife, the Bible says, he that findeth a wife finds a valid excuse. And I am all for valid excuses. If you don't just go get you a spouse just so you don't have to do stuff. Now, because what can your boy say when you use the wife as an excuse? I'm going to let y'all know right now, if I ever get married, my answer to all your requests for my presents is going to be, let me check with my wife. Let me check with my wife. Hey, man, I need you to come here. I got to check with the wife. Make sure. Oh, I can't wait. That's the only reason to get married, so that the dishes are always done and that you can always have an excuse to not go places. I believe if you marry, the dishes should always be washed. Always have washed. The dishes always be washed. That's just a wife's job. I'm having that written into my vows. To having the whole to wash and to dry. I think that's important. I'll do laundry. She gotta get them dishes. She gotta bust them suds. That's what wives were put on earth for. Really, I think that's one of the main reasons why God took Adam's rib. He looked at that pile of dishes and he was like, Adam, I got you. I'm going to send you a helpmeet. And my cousin, he just illuminated to me how important it is to have a wife. Because you don't have to go to stuff. You ain't got to go to stuff. You can that's the most legitimate excuse. Then you can start, and first you got to go with, I asked my wife. Then you can start using a variety of excuses from your wife. My wife wasn't feeling good. My wife had to work. Man, I had to take my wife to the store. My wife didn't have a shoe. Man, Marriage is a beautiful excuse to not go places. And as extroverted introvert, I need to get a wife. I need to get one. Now, Washington, D.C. was amazing. It did all of his Washington, D.C. and things. Now, I said to y'all I had 6 shows in Washington, D.C., but I was able to do 4. I had 6 shows in D.C. I was able to do 4. I still got paid for 6. Still got paid for 6. And I can see y'all saying to yourselves, how did you manage to do that? Well, here's the weekend in review. Started off with Friday. I was supposed to be in DC Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the DC Improv, one of the most legendary comedy clubs in the country. Not everybody gets to perform at a DC Improv. It is considered an honor by most people to be able to perform at the DC Improv. Not everybody gets to. It is one of those places that you say that's a goal. I mean, one of my goals is to perform at a DC Improv. There's hundreds and hundreds of comedians in DC that don't get to work at a DC Improv. They don't get a chance to work at a DC Improv. And so I was able to work at a DC Improv this week. If you have any questions, if you don't believe me, that is me at the DC Improv, standing in front of the sign which says DC Improv. I stood in front of the sign. Now, somebody had a problem with my outfit. It was somebody, a lady on Facebook, who had a complete problem with my outfit. And rather than do what God has given us the right to do and just keep that to herself, she felt like she had to comment on my outfit on Facebook. And I didn't know it was because she wanted me to come back and say something negative to her, but she really had an issue with my outfit. And to that I say, buy me another one. I will wear the outfit that you think. If you have issues with my outfits, buy me another one. I am all for the buy me another one ministry. If you don't like my outfit, buy me another one. This right here is me saying, if you don't like it, you can give me a new one. Now, the outfit was what it was. I was able to let a little bit of my chest hair out with the shirt. The pants gave me the old man that's I'm still trying to hold on to what's fashion forward. That was me, and I get it. She didn't appreciate my outfit at all, so that wasn't a problem. So these pictures are from Friday night. This right here is one of my. This right here, I think is just a dope picture. Let me just show y'all this one right here. I think this is just a dope picture. I think it's just this is tell her to mind her edges. I'm not sure she had edges. I think she's still referring to her hair as baby hair, and she's got to be at least 60. You can't have baby hair at 60. That hair should have a job by now. If you 60 years old, you should have real edges. You should not have baby hair. Your hair should be full grown. Your hair should be full grown. I love this picture right here. This picture right here, that's just a picture that should show your life. Like every comedian should have a picture like that. There was a generous white man there. I didn't even get to meet him or say hi, but I saw him with a camera. He was the one taking the pictures. I thought it was great. So I thank you. Yeah, she a granny. You know, old people feel like they can say whatever they want to say. So DC was DCing. I was able to go to a museum. Oh, so I was supposed to do 6 shows, right? I got paid for 6 shows. I only did 4. Now, again, y'all are saying the math on that. And here's what happened. DC is a unique place. This is me standing with DC behind me, but actually Alexandria. She probably wear the pants, and she probably wears the fashion depends at that, Monica, which is a problem for me because I still feel like if you can't control your bladder, you shouldn't get to wear fancy drawers. I don't like the denim depends, the floral print depends. If you can't control your bladder, you don't get to wear fancy drawers no more. When you was a kid, your mama ain't put you in fancy drawers until you stop peeing in them. Until you can stop peeing in your drawers, you didn't get no fancy drawers. And I just feel like the same thing for adults. If you can't stop peeing in your drawers, you don't get to wear fancy depends. So I was scheduled to do 6 shows in DC. That's how many shows I got paid for. but I only did 4. So, so what happened was great true story. It's crazy town out there. What happened was they had a water main break in downtown DC on Friday. The water went bye bye. Bye bye bye. That's what the water did. The water was like, we ain't got time. So the water main break, and because the comedy club, what people don't understand about comedy clubs are not about comedy. Comedy clubs are not about comedy. Comedy clubs are restaurants. That's where they make their money in a comedy club. Now, a lot of people be like, ooh, the comedy club is all about comedy. Comedy club care less about comedy. It's basically dinner and a show. So they make all their money off of the bar. Most of the money made in comedy clubs is off the bar and the food. They call it a comedy club, but it's really just a restaurant with live entertainment. So once the water was cut off, they cut all the water off downtown, or at least for a little radius, and which included the comedy club. They cut the water off, so they weren't able to do any more shows. So they were like, hey, we don't have no water. It was on Friday night. They sent out a message, hey, we apologize about the water being cut off. We were unable to do the Friday night show. We apologize. They gave everybody a refund, right? So I was supposed to do two shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, right? So the second show on Friday, canceled. But they were like, don't worry about it. We still going to pay you for it. And I was like, hey, I've been in DC one day already getting treated like a government worker, already getting treated like a government official, doing less work for more money. I was excited. It was a good time. I felt special. I did. Then, after that, here's what happens. There's no lie. So we do 2 shows on Saturday. Saturday, do 2 shows. It was a good time on Saturday. And after the Saturday show, everything seems fine. Do 2 shows on Saturday, killed both of the shows. Killed both the shows. I don't even brag on myself on the stage. Timothy was there. He can tell you, hey man, I put on for my city. I got out there. I didn't embarrass y'all on the stage. Really showed out on Saturday. I showed out on Friday too, but I also showed out on Saturday. Came out that thing was strong. As y'all can see, this DC Improv, I'm not making this up. Just before the start of our 9:45 show tonight, we were informed that DC Water was shutting off water to our building. We had no idea this was happening, but we can't operate safely without running water. So our sincere apologies to everyone who came downtown. Everyone is getting a refund. Trying to find out why this information got to us so late. We should be operational on Saturday night. They were operational on Saturday. Want proof? There it is. Update. The water is back on. It was just so crazy to be in DC and they ain't had no water. And I was like, you want to put me in the water? Huh? You want to put me? I was like, where is DJ Cool with his magical water powers when you need them? So then I did 2 shows on Saturday. And then Sunday, I have a pastor who not only does he think he's my spiritual father, I think he thinks he's my real dad. So whenever I'm in DC, I call him and be like, hey, I'm in town. And he'll be like, you have to come to church. And I was like, but I didn't plan on that. But he's like, oh, no, you coming to church. As long as you live in my city, you have to come to my church. And I was like, oh. So I ended up going to his church. So I had a good time at church. And he was like, since you coming anyway. And that's how it works. He told me I had to come. Then he was like, and since you'll be here anyway, I'm gonna get you to get on stage for about 10 minutes at the church. So I got on church 10 minutes. So that was show number. I did 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. That was show number 4. 4 out of 6. Then Sunday night, I show up to the club. They had Tony Woods. Tony Woods is a fantastic comic. I don't know if anybody knows who Tony Wood is. Tony Woods, actually, Dave Chappelle credits Tony Woods with being the reason why he is what he is right now. A legend in the District of Columbia, a fantastic comedian, Tony Woods. So Tony has a whole show on Sunday. So I am supposed to headline Tony Woods' show. It's called Tony Woods and Friends. I was Tony Woods' friend. There's me and there's Tony Woods. And I was Tony Woods' friend. As y'all can see, well dressed. I got on a jacket, a hat. You may not be able to tell how good I look, but the key is you seeing Tony Woods was the key right there. So I show up, jacket, hat, ready to go because it's a Sunday. I feel like on Sundays, you should look a little bit better. That's just me. It's just a me thing. When I have a Sunday show, I try to look better than I look on the rest of the week. Not saying that I look amazing. Not saying that I look great, but I look better than I normally do. That's me. And just so that y'all can know, I didn't take a whole lot of outfits. I wore that outfit twice, but I wore it differently. This is me at the club because there's always got to be a difference between the club and the church. So that's me at the club. That's how I wore that outfit at the club. And let me just show y'all the same outfit, but different in the church house. When I was in the house of the Lord. When I went to the house of the Lord, when I was glad when they said unto me, bam, see there? Different shirt. Somebody, a different shirt. See how that works? Church had on a button-up shirt. Club got polo. Club got polo. Bam. That's how it went. So I show up to do the show. When I show up, I see some city workers outside that look like they working on the water line. They look like they working on the water. They look like they're working on the water. They're working on the water. And then I get in, show starts at 7. Tony's like, you headlining the show. He had 497 other comics on the show. It was ridiculous. Tony apparently is very friendly. When it is, if you ever got to go to a Tony Woods and Friends show, expect 698 comics. You are gonna get a comic for each dollar you spend. It was crazy. And so I was the headliner of that show. I was supposed to headline that show. And what happened was, mid-show, the general manager of the comedy club comes in. It might be even more late in the show, but mid-show, he comes in and he says, the water department's about to shut us down again at 8:30. I've done everything I can to keep the water on and all of this, but they're going to shut us down at 8:30. We got to be out at 8:30. And so this is at like 8:15. So even if he put me up, I wouldn't have been able to do no time. He was like, man, I can't put you up, but I'm going to still pay you though. And so that's how that happened. I had 6 shows in DC, got paid for 6 shows, did 4. Mostly because water is bad. Water is bad. And so that was that. Then I came home from DC, and I'm going to tell y'all something. The trip to DC, people always ask me, how far away do you live from DC? And I tell them very simply, I either live 3 hours from DC or 3.5 days. The traffic going to or coming from DC is probably the most frustrating thing ever. It is the number one reason for me to go to church. One of the main reasons why I have to go to church when I go to DC is to repent for all the cussing that I do while driving in Washington, D.C. I don't know if you've ever driven in Washington, D.C., but driving in Washington, D.C. will make you cuss at people all the time. Now, I believe what Monica said, take the Amtrak. And I normally would take the train going to D.C. because you never have to deal with train traffic. The train can't get caught in traffic. You know you're going to spend 4 hours on the train. You know what you're getting. Unfortunately, I had taken my daughter to college, and I don't know if anybody got that out the update, but I took my daughter to college, dropped her off at college, and I drove straight from North Carolina into DC. So that was the only reason why I didn't. I could have drove home and then caught an Amtrak. That just seemed ridiculous to me. So I just drove, and I had to deal with the traffic. DC will make you cuss at your GPS. It ain't nothing worse than when you driving in DC and you be like, oh, I'm 2.5 miles away from my destination, and it says it's going to take you 2.5 hours. Why am I only going 1 mile per hour? That's just DC. Whose idea was this? Why do they let everybody in DC drive? Nobody from DC knows how to drive. They just do it. They just get behind the car and they experiment. They just out there trying their best. Nobody knows what they doing. They just running all into each other. They always doing construction on the streets, and none of the streets make sense. First and foremost, whoever did the grid of DC, you the only person that knows what this grid looks like. They tell you if you fly over top of DC, you can see how the grid works. It's not. That is not how it works. I want to go from A Street to B Street. That's not how DC works, though, because you'll go from A Street to B Street to W. Why is W and B next to each other? Then when does it go from northwest to southeast, the whatever it does, the west to south? That never tells you. How can I be on the same street and be both west and south? This is dumb. It is dumb. Okay, the entire city of DC needs to be wiped out and redone. Just do it all over again, because it don't make sense. Even the number streets don't even coincide with each other. 17th Street, you be like, okay, the next street should be 18th, so you'll go from 17th Street to U. What in the old school TV are you doing, making us go from 12 to U? That was supposed to be what you did on your TV stations. You went from 13 to U. This is not supposed to be what you're supposed to do in real life. And then you get down there and you can't even turn down every street. Some of the streets are one way. You can't go down, so you got to go down 47 blocks to get to the next street when you can see where you're supposed to be is right there. Then they got these little side streets that you're supposed to be on so that you could turn right. So if you're not in one of the side streets, you got to keep on going, and it's dumb. It's dumb. The whole city's dumb. The whole city. Then all the streets are paved in mambo sauce, so then you got to deal with that as well. I don't know who made these decisions. I don't know who did it. I mean, just like Kelly Price has no idea who holds tomorrow, or what tomorrow may hold, whichever way it goes. I don't know who. I don't know what tomorrow may hold, but I know who holds my mule or something like that. Don't forget to put NE or NW. Who wants to put New Edition in their GPS? The New Edition don't have no business being in my GPS. It's a GPS. It's not. It is not an iPod. The whole city is dumb. Is all I'm saying. That's all I got for DC and having to drive in DC. If you ever really want to run your blood pressure up, if you ever start feeling good about yourself as a person and feel that you know directions, go to DC. You will lose it all. And nobody in DC knows how to get around DC. Nobody. They all just trying to figure all of it out by themselves. They can't figure nothing out. Don't let Uncle Joe be outside. Ain't nobody got time for him. You can't even let Joe Biden be outside because chances are he finna fall down. You let Joe Biden out of the White House, there's a 97% chance that he gonna fall down because he's like a toddler. Joe Biden be walking around the White House holding on to the furniture so he can stand up. He don't have his balance about him. And Lord knows where Kamala Harris is. I ain't seen Kamala Harris since, and I don't know if she's still stuck in the Converse store, but I ain't seen her in a long time. DC traffic is stupid, and you're right. Atlanta traffic is dumb, and I'm gonna tell you why Atlanta traffic is dumb, because Atlanta traffic has a particular place where it starts. DC and Atlanta, I know exactly where Atlanta traffic is gonna start. It's gonna start right there at that CNN building. You're gonna be able to drive up 85 as smoothly as you want to until you hit Atlanta, and then you got to stop. It's gonna slow you down immediately. I don't know how everybody meets right there and figure out they don't know how to drive no more, but that's where it happens. DC is ridiculous. Atlanta's ridiculous, and probably the most ridiculous city to have to drive in or state is New Jersey. Have you ever driven in New Jersey? New Jersey has streets that you're not allowed to take a left. So if you see your destination is on your left, you can't just cut your signal on and turn left. You got to go up and find a U-turn lane. You got to go and take a whole exit on this side to come around, take a U-turn to come back the other way. It's ridiculous. Kamala and the Obamas were hanging out at the Beyonce concert. She ain't done no work. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. Kamala is getting is getting paid for 4 years, and she's only doing one. She and I are doing the same math. I was getting paid for 6 shows and did 4. Kamala is up there getting paid for 4 years, and she ain't doing but one. She ain't doing but 1 year's worth of work. I ain't even seen her on the press conference. Kamala's doing so little that even the racists forgot that Kamala's there. Even the people that hate black people forgot. She ain't seen her. The man said you got to go around the whole city to come back to the exit you missed in Atlanta. This is dumb. I don't know who's building this. That New York City traffic, here's the thing. The only reason I like traffic in New York City was first, whenever I get on the New Jersey Turnpike, I already feel like I'm a race car driver. The moment I hit that turnpike, I'm now Bubba Watson. Give me that little ticket, or especially if I use my Easy Pass. I mean, I ain't got to stop and get that ticket. I just get to go. Wow. Wow, I'm out. I'm pushing the pedal to the metal. I love it. I turned to a whole different person on the New Jersey Turnpike. Now, when you drive in New York City, you got to get in New York City. You got to drive like a man. I don't care if you are a woman. At that moment, you need to grow 8 inches of meat and 2 danglies and drive. That's how you got to drive when you're in New York. When you, man or woman, you get you 8 inches of meat, 2 danglies, and you drive it up. You drive like there's sausage in your pants when you're in New York. Because if not, you're not going to make it. New York City, you're not going to make it if you don't drive. If you don't drive like you packing. You got to do it. It ain't nothing to do. You got to do it. Got to do it. The aggressiveness, listen, I don't know how you ladies feel about somebody on your hind parts, but you going to have it. Oh, it's going to be Patra when you in New York City. They finna pull up to your bumper. They going to be all up on you. I feel sexually harassed whenever I drive in New York City, but it's the way that you do it. That's right. You got to have 2 danglies, sir. 8 inches and 2 danglies, at least. I don't care what you are, ma'am. For the day, if you gonna drive in New York, ma'am, I need you to drive with some testicular fortitude. Testicular fortitude. I need you to do it. It's not a place for the weak. If not, you just get out your car, leave your car somewhere, and you ride the metro, you ride the train, you get on the subway. But if you're not gonna get in there and drive like a man, Grandma, you ain't gonna make it. Put your balls to work, ladies. You gotta do it. I don't know what the worst city is for traffic. Philadelphia is bad too, but Philadelphia is okay. You can get around in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is bad, but it ain't nowhere near like a New York, DC, or Atlanta. 3 worst traffic cities in America. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize to my West Coasters. All y'all out there loking straight West Coast, and I forgot about y'all. Los Angeles traffic is Satan semen. LA traffic is horrible. I forgot LA. My gosh. I don't know how I didn't mention y'all off the top. LA, number 1 for horrific traffic. 8-lane highways still backed up. Everything in LA takes you an hour to get to. And this is what makes it so bad about Los Angeles. Los Angeles has the nerve to not even have good public transportation. You can't even get around LA traffic. They are going to force you to sit in their traffic. You like, all right, I can just take the train. We ain't got no train. I can take the bus. Yeah, no. You going to sit in this. You going to take, listen, if LA traffic ain't a case of SVU, if that is not SVU, I don't know what it is, because LA traffic says you're going to bend over and you're going to take it up the rear. Whether you like it or not, call Olivia Benson, because we're fitting to give it to you. And we're going to charge you $8 a gallon for gas. You take it. You take it. And It's like that. It's like that Mike Tyson clip. Well, Mike Tyson is like, I'm gonna take your goodies until you love me, which was very aggressive for Michael. I mean, he didn't say it in the way that I said it. He definitely dropped the F word when he said it. But he told that man, he told a grown man in the audience, I will make sweet love to you until you love me. But he didn't say sweet love. He definitely said it in the prison vernacular. That was not going to be a consensual act between him and that man. And the fact that Michael Tyson told him that in a press conference. He said it in a press conference in front of everybody. I don't know. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it before. It is one of the worst 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 things anybody has ever said to another human being ever. Normally I wouldn't play it because because of the vulgarity that's involved. But I think y'all are all grown. I think y'all have all watched television before, and y'all have all seen stuff that shouldn't be seen. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share with y'all this video of Mike Tyson when a reporter at a press conference told Mike that he should be put in a straitjacket. They told Mike Tyson he should be put in a straitjacket. Let's let it ride.
Put your mother in the straight jacket, you punk ass white boy. Come in and tell me that if I fuck you in your ass, you punk white boy, you faggot. You can't touch me, you're not man enough. I eat your asshole alive, you bitch. Fuck you, you hoe. Come and say in my face, fuck you, ass for everybody. You bitch. Come on, you bitch. You scared coward. You not man enough to fuck with me. You can't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch. Look at you scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white pussy. Scared of the real man. I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot.
Yep. 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 Until you love me is what it's, I listen. People have gotten on my nerves before. People have really upset me. I've gone into restaurants and they've gotten my order wrong. People have cut me off in traffic. That lady said something about my outfit on Facebook, but I've never spoken to anybody in that way. That Michael Tyson, my Lakeisha said, and I believe him. So all the rest of the aggression was fine, but the until you love me, until you listen. The fact is, Michael, I don't think we even see how deep that threat was. Michael was like, I'm gonna come take your goods until you love me. Everybody's gonna be like, no, Michael, no, stop, no. Oh, hey, oh, this is quite pleasant. Oh, I love you, Michael. How? My pearls are clutched. How? And he threatened to do it publicly. I'll do this in front of everybody. Do you know how strong of an individual you have to be to say, not only am I going to anally assassinate you, I'm going to do it with witnesses. I'm going to make everybody stay. And I really feel like the people were so scared that nobody was going to leave. That everybody was like, ooh, if I get up and leave, I might be next. I could see Mike saying, hey, don't you go anywhere or you're next. You're going to love me too. So you had to sit and you had to just stay there. And you're going to love me. I was like, why, Michael? at a press conference. And what's amazing is he didn't get canceled. We lived in a different time back then. The 1900s were a wild time. The 1900s was a wild time. We were doing anything back in the 1900s. People weren't as sensitive. If he would have had that same press conference right now, Mike Tyson would have been banned from boxing. He would have been made to move to the moon. But back in the 1900s, until you love me. Until you love. Ladies, you don't even have men who actually love you say that. I've been in love before. Been in amorous situations. Loved a woman named Mildred. And never did I go to Mildred and be like, this is what I'm going to do to you until you love me. First of all, I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how long. Like, listen to what you are committing yourself to, Michael. You told that man, I am going to attack your nether regions. I am going to make sweet butt love to you until you love me. And who knows what time frame that was going to take. Who knows how much time it was going to take. That like me going to Mildred and being like, Mildred, until you love me. Who's putting a timer on that? Does that mean he's going to have to do it multiple times? Is Michael guaranteeing one time you're going to, and you're going to love me? A one-way trip to Pound Town. And you're going to love me afterwards. Jackie, could you imagine what he would have done to those people at the Riverboat Ferry? Forget a chair. I'm swinging wood. You can swing all your trays. I'm swinging wood. Lakeisha said one stroke. And I don't know. I don't know what I can do. Can you imagine just being back there? Do you love me yet? Do you love me yet? How do you feel? You love me? You love me? You love me? It's too much pressure on both people. It is just a lot. He said, there's so much about that video. Nobody stopped Michael. Did you notice? Nobody said, hey, Mike, hey, you're going too far. Nobody said, hey, Mike, hey, I got it from here. Hey, don't say anything else to Mike. No, nobody got in. Everybody was like, that's just Michael. Somebody probably was like, another one, Mike, until you love. Like, what? That was a great question, though. But who was going to stop him? I don't need a friend like Mike Tyson. Not that Mike. Now, this new Mike Tyson is high on weed all the time and plays with animals. Like, that's a great Mike Tyson. But back when he was boxing, I ain't need that. I didn't need that. I didn't need the pressure. I didn't need it. Didn't need it. All right, I'm getting ready to go. Last thing on my weekend recap. Apparently, there's nothing to do in DC. I was in DC, like I said, I had 6 shows. I got paid for 6 shows. I did 4, and so my shows were all at night. Each show, I asked the same question. I was like, "Hey, what is there to do in DC?" This was Friday. I asked everybody, "What can I do in DC?" The answer overwhelmingly came back to is go to brunch. I was like, "There's nothing else to do in DC but go to brunch." They're like, "Go to brunch." Now I took it upon myself. He did also mention eating. Yeah, he did say that. He said, I'm a publicly, it was a lot going on. That young man's behind was in peril. If I was that young man's butt, I'd have left. There's no way I'm gonna stay around. He has threatened me in so many. I'd have pressed charges on. He's not the whole man, just his behind. I'd have went right down to the magistrate and be like, listen, man, I've been threatened to be eaten. I've been threatened to be tortured until love, like all of that. Anyway, moving on. I had no idea. Now you say cigar lounges. I don't smoke cigars. I don't like cigar smoke. Like you have to be. If I hang out with you at a cigar lounge, you have to be super high on my list of people that I care about. I don't like cigar smoke. I don't like it. Me no like it. Me no like it. So I stay away from it. Everybody kept saying go to brunch, go to brunch, go to brunch. So I ended up going to brunch. Sunday after church, I went to brunch. I went to a place called Jasper's and had brunch. And let me let y'all know something about brunch. I don't understand it. I don't. I would rather go to the Smithsonian. I went to the George Washington Memorial Masonic Museum. You say that 3 times fast. I went that. I enjoyed it, right? I don't know. Brunch don't sit well with me. I'm not bright enough to go to brunch. Okay, can I just be real with y'all? I'm not intelligent enough to go to brunch. I don't have the meal intelligence to handle brunch. It's way too many options from different times of the day. They had smoked mussels and shrimp and lobster, and then they had salad bar. Then they had all regular breakfast food. Then they had like omelet station. They had so many different things. I didn't know what to eat. I need my food to match the time of day. So if I go to eat at 11 and you got dinner options, lunch options, and breakfast options, what do I eat? Do I just eat breakfast or do I eat lunch? I need I don't know. I just stood there with my plate and begged somebody to put food on it. I was just like, can y'all I don't even know what a frittata is, but give me one. Like, I didn't know what to do. So here I am walking around with eggs, clams, roast beef, some soup, salad. I didn't know what to do because none of it fit the time frame. Nothing. And then JD told eat what you want. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden Mike Tyson came in and he was like, I will eat your, and I was like, I'm out. I'm just gone, Mike, because I don't even think that's on the buffet. I don't even think that's on the buffet. I'm out, man. Today's Monday, man. It's the beginning of our week. We're going to have a spectacular week. I know that we are. It's my first full week without my daughter. My daughter's moved out. She's in college. I'm happy for her. She called me first thing this morning. Great. She's doing what she's doing. I want everybody to just have a fantastic week. I want you to master your Monday. If we master our Monday, the rest of the week has no choice but to bow down to you. I want you to treat your week like Mike was going to treat that man's rear end. That's how I want you to treat your Monday. I want you to take Monday and I want you to put it firmly in your grasp and I want you to hunch it until it loves you. I want you to be like, you feel that, huh? I don't care where you are, lady or man. I want you to go in there and show Monday you're the boss. And once you show Monday you're the boss, the rest of the week's gonna be like, hey, you saw what he did the Monday, didn't you? You saw what she did the Monday. Let's get in line. Let's put the positivity in the air. Let's go ahead and be great. We are great. All of us, all of you are. Whatever it is that you do, you're great at it. You are one of one. You are an original. You're not a carbon copy. You're amazing who you are. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Let's take today and understand that, man. Let's have our self-esteem on 1,000. Let's have our self-esteem where Lizzo is. Let's be cheeks out at a Lakers game self-esteem. Let's feel so good about ourselves that we going cheeks out at a Laker game and then putting Mike Tyson in a predicament because he doesn't know whether to eat it or to do it until you love him. Let's do that with our lives today. I guarantee it's gonna be better. Hey, and then again, I'll see you guys again tomorrow in the morning. I'm out.